Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It's Friday, the 16th of May. We'll get to 3 Major League Baseball free pick winners for you. Well, actually, like 2.5. I got Chip Chirimbes today. Matt Fargo may come. He's got some things going on there, so maybe he'll show up. But you got 2 winners for sure. Maybe a bonus third. That's up to you what you want to do with it when we give out a little side on that game as well. But before we get to those, here you go. You're on the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you know each and every day we do the NBA free picks when we get more than a game, and we of course do Major League Baseball now taking center stage. A nice 2-0 day yesterday with the picks there, Chip. You cashed the under first 5 and the Rangers. I actually had that full game under on the sites there. Nice over there. The Dodgers over gets there. Again, that was my 2-0 day. I had both of them here in the free pick. That's when you watch the free pick show because sometimes I give you premiums. And Ribby props, not too bad. Otani plus 340, got you there. Pages plus 155, got you there. We did drop 2 on the A's, but you pick up 365 or whatever, and you drop $2. That's that's a winning day. Going a couple $100 there.
Always a winner.
Real fast, 7-9 with baseball. We're minus 270. I said this yesterday during the show, Chip. I'm putting out plus 340s, plus 210s, plus 175s. That will not count with our side and total baseball records. Just so you know, folks in here, if you're wondering how the records go on the YouTube channel here. Again, I said thumbs up. Maybe you want to thumbs down it. Maybe you faded us and you're feeling angry. That's all right. That's all right. Leave a comment. We want to know how you feel. The free picks, great day yesterday. 2-0, and you add in the player props, a great day. I went 2-0 my premiums yesterday. We'll get to how Chip did and what he's got on tap. But right now, Major League Baseball, full swing. A lot of baseball left. June, July, August, basically September. You got 4 full months because playoff baseball, you get a lot of games. 6:49. Go get a season-long pass. Now you're gonna say, Higgs, bro, I like baseball, but I want to bet other things too. Well, that's fine. Hello, 30-day passes, guaranteed. They show you a profit or we credit you back. All sports included. You'll get the Stanley Cup run, NBA Finals run, and all of MLB, and WNBA for those who partake. There you go. We got you covered on the 30 days. Go get the premium picks today. Those are our best bets. Speaking of best bets, he's the best dresser right here. Look at that shirt, Chip Chirimbes. Looking good, my man. You're going to look like an extra for Hawaii 5-0, the reboot.
Well, as long as they keep playing these games and they keep going to the patterns we're looking at, I'll wear any kind of shirt. Really, it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
So let's just jump into quickly. We have a 3-game pack up today. Obviously, our third member is not here. It was the Cardinals and the Royals tonight. 7:40 start. Rivalry week. I'm sorry I didn't put out the Blue Jays and the Tigers. We all know that's a great rivalry. Right. But we're going to go the Battle of Mizzou here. Palante and Raggins. I'm always kind of biased towards Kansas City because I had him last year as a win total over. I had Raggins win total for him over. I had his strikeouts. This year, again, I'm stuck on a win total for them and Raggins. The guy is 2-2. He goes 6-7 innings every game. Can't get a decision. This is kind of a bigger number here because Palante's actually been pretty decent of late. This kid came over in a trade, not bad numbers. I want to take Palante at the 130. I'm biased towards my Raggins and my Kansas City stuff here. Kansas City had a nice run the other day. They won 5-6 at one point. Then they dropped a few. I want to take KC. I'm torn. It's the top of my food chain, but my biasness, we talked about this when we do win totals, Chip. Sometimes it kind of blinds you, and you either got to play. Again, I didn't play this game on the sites, not even for myself because I'm already invested long term. But that's where the blinders come on, and you're kind of stuck. I'm automatically going to lean towards Raggins. What do you think on this one?
Well, I agree with you with Raggins. I really like him. And I can't help but think of the World Series when these two match up, even during the regular season, when Andujar had the meltdown and Denninger made the wrong call at first base, and there was a really crazy World Series between these two. But, I like the Kansas City. 2-2 right now. Groggins, I mean, he's had didn't get much support earlier. The Royals are starting to hit the ball a little bit better now, but the Cardinals, it's amazing to me because I've always felt that they were one of the best organizations in all of sports, if not just baseball. And last year they had a really down season, and everyone expected the same this year. And then they just really bounced back. They've got people who are just playing good baseball, fundamental baseball, which they usually do. But I like Kansas City in this spot as well, Sean. I think with the pitching, they have a bit of an edge, even though Palante, is that how you pronounce his name for St. Louis?
Blonde, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Sorry.
been throwing pretty well, so it's a tough game. Maybe the under is the play here, but I think with Grogan's going out there, I'd take Kansas City.
You know what? I like Raggins. How about an under as well? Kansas City offense, non-existent, 29-15 to the under. And you mentioned St. Louis was bad year last year. I had them in under last year. I got an under season win ticket this year because I think it's kind of not a flash in the pan, but it's still early. We've seen teams. Remember last year, everyone was like, "Oh, look at the Pirates! Here come the Pirates. How are they doing with their 10 wins?"
That's one of the reasons I've said a number of times when we do these shows early in the year when you're asking for projections and stuff. I said I hate to lock myself in because, like you said, you've got them for the full season and you've already it's already on your head. That's why I really don't like playing say futures and putting myself out there on it because there's going to come a time when you're going to go against yourself. And, you can't look good. It's not a good look at all. But, this is a great matchup anyway. Cardinals and Royals are always sort of pique my interest.
I'm gonna throw this out as an under 8.5 for a show pick here for us. I don't want to. As much as I like the Dragons, I'm gonna stay away from the 145 here for us. We'll just go. I'm gonna say under the 8.5. I'm making an executive host decision, and I'm gonna play the under in that game for.
What would the line be if I laid a 1.5 with the Royals here?
The 1.5, I believe, I want to say was definitely plus money. You want to go that route? That's obviously where I would look to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would do it because the pitching
plus 142, 140 to 145. There's 145s offshore. So
they're telling you they're only getting 8 at bats. This is probably a close game. Yeah.
And again, 29 unders tells you the offense. You'll be working for it for sure. All right, here we go. There's your little free pick there, little bonus play from the two of us. Officially, though, the 8.5 is what I'm going to use towards the records in this one. We both kind of like KC there, but price a little high. Do that as you will with the free picks. The best bets, my 3-pack, Chip's NBA power play winner are up right now. And again, as much as I mentioned, go buy the daily pass for $69.99. Today's not that day for me and Chip. We got a solo baseball package up for you. It's a regular price day unless you buy a 3-day or a 7-day. But I always mention the daily passes because sometimes they come in handy not just for who's ever doing a show, but also on the site as well if you're going through the leaderboard and stuff like that. Now here we go. Here's a fun game for us to get to Chip. I don't know. You might have something to say. The Mets and the Yankees are playing today. Here's a rivalry. People thought the Subway Series. And Jim was like, do people still take the subway to this matchup? Probably do. I'm old enough to remember because it wasn't that long ago where they played a Subway Series, one in the Bronx and one in Queens in the same day. It was a day-night doubleheader there. It was pretty fun stuff.
They've done that.
So, yeah. McGill and Rodon, 135 for the Yanks, plus 120 take back here. The total is 9. Now, Rodon's pitched well here, on the season overall. Last 7 starts, can't complain. A .90, you're rolling out a .92 whip on the last month and .97 whip on the season. You're doing something right. And McGill's not terrible at a 1.25 and a 3 ERA here over his last few starts. Again, not bad. I'm not an ERA. I like the whips and batting average against kind of stuff, but pretty solid matchup. I want to kind of know what you think of this one because again, I hate to say I'm anti-Yankee guy, but I feel as if the Yanks to me are a little bit of overachieving much right now when I look at them. Right, it's you have Judge crushing the ball, Goldie's having a great season, Fried's been well, but the rest of this lineup I kind of look at and be like, how are they having 25 wins on the year? Right, Is it a smoke and mirror crew? Is it the AL is just that bad? The Mets, I thought, I didn't think the Mets pitching staff was all great. I'm like, you're relying on Holmes to come in. The guy was closing games for the Yanks last year, and now he's going 5 or 6 innings and being a decent starter. You got McGill. You got Senga come back from injury. Griffin Canning, who's been surprised. I can't believe the Mets are as good as they are. I have an under on both of these guys long term. I like the Mets here, Chip, but this is your official play here. You are the show pick in this one. What do you got in this matchup?
Well, I understand liking the Mets here. They've won the last 2 season series, Subway Series. By the way, I should have my Subway Series hat on. It's up against the wall over here somewhere. But Yankees and Mets are always a thrill in New York. I mean, they've been geared up for this. I've been hearing this on WFAN on their flagship radio station every day for the last month about this Soto coming back, playing against the Yankees, and what a great matchup it's going to be. But so it's always exciting in New York in this time. And then you got the Knicks and Celtics tonight as well. So they're really revved up back east for this one. But the pitching is the key here. And both these pitchers, Rondon was a big surprise for the Yankees. He hasn't had a decent season in 3-4 years now. And he's got off to a great start, though he has waned a little bit of late. And McGill's the same way. He's been with the Mets for a while. He's been in and out. Sometimes he's had some very good outings where teams had trouble putting the ball or the bat on the ball. And yet he's sort of a middling pitcher in my mind, Sean. I don't know how you see it. And I think both these guys, who both got off to great starts, they have really fallen off in their most recent starts. And I think that trend is going to continue. And I'll play this one over. I think there's going to be plenty of runs here. And by the way, you're right about the Yankees and Mets as far as I think both their pitching staffs are lacking. Griffin comes up for, like you said, for Canning, is it? For the Mets as a surprise. Rondon's been doing okay. Fried is doing really well with the Yankees. As long as you got Judge hitting with that kind of power, Sean, and that kind of average, they're going to be scoring runs. But I think there are some gaps and holes in that Yankee lineup. And I'll play this one over the total. I really would. I might lean toward the Mets just on sentiment, but I think this game goes over the total. That'll be my selection.
Over the 9, official show pick from Chip Trims. Again, this is the free picks. We are 7-9, minus 270, limited MLB action. Again, Ribby props do not count in the records there because, again, I put out a plus 340 cashes. It totally skews the whole thing, so we're not doing that. Strictly sides and totals count for the show. Under 8.5, St. Louis KC. Official from Chip here. Over 9, Mets Yanks. Again, get Chip's mega buck play right now at gamblersworld.net. You mentioned Judge. I saw the guy hit a home run in like the 8th inning the other day against Seattle. I am just dumbfounded that teams will pitch to this guy in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning of games that are tied or the Yanks are trailing by a run.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put him on? I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's just me. Who am I? I'm the guy who runs, out of the park baseball simulations on a little game from the season. I'm walking the guy. No one else in them. Ben Rice or Volpe or whoever they got hit behind him at 214 does not scare me. I will take a shot with a guy on second and Judge on first with 1 out or 2 outs and bring up a guy hitting 215.
Well, maybe later in the season or when the games become each individual game.
You saw people pitch to him in the playoffs with guys on. Why are you pitching to the guy? He's hitting 400.
Right now he's got such he's locked in. He's got a beautiful swing. It's kind of flawless for a big guy. A guy that big, no hitch, and when he doesn't make full great contact because he's so big and because he has such a beautiful natural swing, he's getting a lot of other hits as well. That balls are going in the gap, and he's a joy to watch at the plate right now. He really is.
Final game of the night. It's my game. Battle of Texas. The Silver Boot, apparently it's called. Right?
Yeah.
So we did this yesterday. We all liked the under. It got there with ease. Now tonight, Evaldi's laying $185 because McCullers has been terrible. Oof. And again, this guy, he's going to get a lot of hate. People are up in arms. He got absolutely shelled for Cincinnati. Well, I faded him against the White Sox in his first start, and I faded him against Cincinnati. Why wouldn't you? He hadn't pitched in 3 years. How do you think the guy's going to come back and face major league pitching? He's going to get shelled. You see it with Bueller just finding his way back. You saw with Strider, you see guys come back from arm injuries. It takes a long time to get back into the flow of things, folks. Now, I'm not going to come here and say we're going to lay 185. I'm not going to do a run line at plus 115 because Texas, how about at home, hitting 232? That's this team. This used to be a hitter's park. They used to be able to hit the ball. We talked about the under yesterday. We could rewatch yesterday's show. We went all in depth there. Doug was talking about them hitting at home. Terrible. 230 batting average, just bad. And the Houston team, 225 on the road, not well at all. I'm going to look at the under again. I know we have a guy who just gave up 9 runs in like an inning of work. I'm going to let's throw that out. That's a guys get shelled. We saw a guy yesterday give up 6 runs. I think Oviedo gave up 6 runs in an inning. Sometimes pitchers get hit. Pitchers coming back from not pitching for 3 years from multiple arm injuries, it's going to take you a minute to get on track. I don't think that Texas is going to whack them for 8 runs. If this is the case, Texas got to score 7 runs themselves. I do not see that, Chip. I don't think Texas is scoring 7. The run line is plus 115. You think that's a safer bet? I don't know. I think the safe bet is both of these teams have not been hitting much this year as it is, and I'll pull up their totals in a second here, which is 23-18 for Houston to the under, 30-14 to the under now for the Texas Rangers. Give me the under 8 runs, Houston, Texas again. We're going to run it back here in what's that, Globe Field, whatever it's called, under the 8, Chip. What do you got?
No, I think you're on the right side here. And it is, it gets hot in Texas in the summer and waiting for the balls to just start flying out of that place. But as of right now, they haven't put the bat on the ball. And I think you're probably right. We're playing this one to the low side, playing it under. You can't, how do you lay Texas at home with the way they are hitting? I think the fact that you're a dog at home in this situation is an indication that it's not going to be a high-scoring game. Because if they're up by 1 run, of course, they don't get a chance to hit in the ninth. And if it gets to that point where they have to hit in the ninth, you're going to want extra innings so they can put men on base and a long ball that haven't covered at either the run line or the game itself. But I think you're probably onto it here, playing it under. Evaldi's been very tough. He always seems to be tough, and I always find it difficult to comprehend why so many teams have jettisoned him and have gotten rid of him. He pitched well with the Yankees, the Marlins, and the Red Sox, and yet he pitched in the World Series for Texas. So kind of strange for me to see his name continuously and him not getting any kind of kudos or respect at all. But he can shut this team down if he does.
He's a solid guy. He's out there all the time. The problem is all the time for him is 20 games. So he's always gets hurt somewhere along the line, and he's knocked out for a bit.
He's done nasty stuff. I've sat behind home plate when he pitched with the Marlins one time, and I said, this kid, the ball really moves. And I was surprised when the Marlins got rid of him because he was back then with them. And but they always struggle, and it's hard for them to keep anybody that can play.
The guy, he's an ideal number 3. He's going to come in again. He could get 20, 25 starts, 150 innings, maybe more depending on how healthy he is. But when he's out there, he gives you a chance to win. 12 wins.
Doesn't he have a great playoff record or World Series record? I think he's done
he's pretty good in the playoffs. He had a good run. Yeah. But under the 8, again, like I said, you could, if you want to run line Texas, they are home. They're plus 115. I just don't trust the offense. And I guess I should if you like Evaldi here. I understand because McCullers has been bad. You can't really say much good about McCullers. But I'm just going to go under because I don't think either team hits. So there is that.
Sean, have you ever watched McCullers close up or see his pitches when he throws? He throws 80 to 90% curveballs. That's his out pitch.
He's got zero speed. He's got no strength left in his arm.
That's his only pitch. It's a tough pitch. It's like Mariano Rivera. Wait till they hit it, But I just that's all he throws is that breaking pitch, and anything else he's using to waste. To throw around the plate to try and get you to fish for it.
He had the good year in 2021. He got hurt in 2022 and now 2025. So, 3 full years.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while to get back in the swing. Even if you're 31, you're not some spring chicken. You're not like 26 or 27. You're 31 years old.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Again, official show pick, under the 8 in Texas, over the 9 Yanks Mets. The bonus play here would be the under 8.5 St. Louis and Kansas City. Those are the free picks. 7-9 in the video, minus 270, because sometimes we'll take a dog or a favorite. The line's going to be a little different. That is why we don't put the player props in here or any kind of props towards the win-loss records there, though. Again, head to gamblersWORLD.net for our best bets. I got a 3-pack up. Chip's got a Major League Baseball power play up. But before we get out of here, this day in sports, baby, what do we got?
All right, kind of a sparse scheduling on May 16th throughout baseball and sports history. But in 1927, a New York Yankee named Bob Musell stole second, third, and home plate in the same inning. It's the second time it was done. You may have remembered that Ty Cobb was the first to do that. In 1954, on this date, Ted Williams was coming back from a broken collarbone, playing a doubleheader on a Sunday against Detroit. Went 3 for 5 in the first game, 5 for 5 in the second game. So Ted Williams comes back in 1954. He gets 8 hits in the doubleheader. 1953, a guy by the name of Curt Simmons, a lefty for Philadelphia, he no-hit Milwaukee. Actually, he threw a one-hitter. Opening pitch of the game, a guy by the name of Billy Bruton, who was a center fielder for the Milwaukee Braves, wasn't bad at all. Opened with a single, K'd the next 3 times, and ended the game with a K, which means, Sean, that after that opening hit by Billy Bruton, Curt Simmons retired 27 straight batters, and he ended the game by striking out for the 3rd time Bruton, who was opened the game with a single on the opening pitch. So that's it. That was 1953, and that's kind of a unique story. I mean, with Billy Bruton, he wasn't a bad player, and Curt Simmons was certainly an excellent pitcher.
Leadoff hit, and then retire the next 27 in a row.
Right. And he K'd the guy that got the hit 3 times.
I mean, forget about striking a guy out 3 times. I mean, that's probably never even happened in sports before.
Yep. I think it happened one game where Babe Ruth walked the first batter, got thrown out of the game, and then whoever came in pitched a no-hitter the rest of the way.
Wow. Good stuff as always, Chip, with this day in sports stuff. And the crazy thing is that Chip has actually been in the stadium in about 47% of these games.
Well,
Had you been alive for half of them,
I like
probably.
baseball early on. Most people don't remember their baseball days start when they're like 10 years old. For me, it started when I was like 6, I think, 5 or 6, because it was just, it's just your game. I could have cared less about math or reading or the alphabet or history or anything. It was all baseball.
I remember the first game I went to was my dad, Yankee Royals. It was a rain delay. It was like raining the whole time. We went to a night game, and we were kind of under the mezzanine, the old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And he just kept telling me, I remember sitting there because I remember just being under the thing and it raining the whole time.
Yeah.
And then he always told stories like he kept, whenever the guy came by, he kept saying, beer here. I kept, because that's all the guys. And the guy, my dad, would be like, no.
Beer here.
That was. I remember it was just raining the whole time, and I had a blast because I was with my dad. It was, and then I don't know what it was.
My first game was at the Polo Grounds, and the Giants were playing the St. Louis Cardinals. I remember Stan Musial, Red Schoendienst. The Cardinals were excellent then as well. Stan Musial was just what a great player.
I had it. I remember the Yankee banner was hanging. The Yankee pennant was in my room. And it was Yankees. It was a 4-3 game versus Kansas City. I'm going to actually have to go, after we wrap this up, I'm going to go look for like from 80.
Go to retro. You can find that exact game in box score. You go to retro, and it'll you go to any major league game. They have it. You push the year, the date, and you'll come up. You can actually see the box score of the game.
I'm trying to think of my age, which probably about, it's got to be between like 80 and 83 probably.
Wow.
Because I was young.
I was already on my 3rd marriage. No.
On that note, speaking of 3s, let's go 3 picks. Under 8.5 St. Louis, over 9 Yanks Mets, under 8 Houston, Texas. Your 3rd. I'm working on.
I haven't even been married yet. I've been very lucky in love.
I mean, I guess you never married. Extreme lucky. 21 years for me coming up in October. 25.
God bless.
There's that. And my son's high school graduation, Sunday graduation down here in Texas. So Sunday, 6 o'clocker at the wherever it is, the fair, some epicenter, some center. Yeah,
well, hey,
whatever.
Are you kicking him out of the house?
I should have. He's whatever. Anyway, that's another show. Good luck, everybody. gamblersworld.net for the best bets today. You got the free picks. Hit the thumbs up. We're out of here. See everybody on Monday. Actually, no, I'll come back. There'll be a surprise tomorrow. Put that notification bell on.